Hey geeks, this is the officially unofficial Geek Channel Weekly Comic Roundup. I am your host as always, Carrie Quinn. Hi, I hope everyone's having a great week. I have had kind of a good week, I think, for the most part. Tuesday sucked, but other than that, I'm okay. So this is the show where we get as spoiler light as possible with the comics that I read this week, and we kind of review them, we go over them, we talk about them, and then um, I'm also going to be doing 2 weekly comic roundup spotlights and I'll get to those. I'll talk about them a little bit here, but I'll get to those in a bit. Um, so, without further ado, let's talk about the comics. Please be sure if you'd like me, if you like the reviews, if you like the channel, please be sure to like, subscribe, and when you subscribe, hit that notification button so that you always get told when I post videos. It's easy as that. And because I'm here for you with pop culture stuff, reviews, comics, opinions, whether you want them or not, they're here with me. And so, yeah, visit me regularly. This is fun. I have a lot of fun doing this, and we're gonna start right out with Suicide Squad number 7, and this was actually okay. So this is a moment where I liked and enjoyed the fourth wall breaks, unlike with last week with the Titans Academy issue. Because the fourth wall breaks are explained and they are functional for the character. And those fourth wall breaks are done by our new arrival, Mr. Ambushbug. Yay! Okay, so the real deal here is that I should have bought the annual and read that first that came out this week, but I did not. I'm going to have to go back and read that because there were some developments that happened in the annual. See, the thing is, this was kind of strange about DC annuals is that some of them have actual, like, real mega bearing on the story as it is, and some of them are just kind of additives. In this circumstance, the annual was a little bit of a story runner. Like, it talked about actual mega events in the story. So when things were kind of brought up in Suicide Squad number 7, I got a little lost, had to do a couple Google searches, but I am back on track somewhat. And but I'm still going to be getting that annual so that I can check out and read everything for myself so that we're all in check here. Yeah, there's some plot developments and there's I believe that the Suicide Squad annual was supposed to be coming out before now. And there's been some delays with certain books. We've definitely experienced that with the Wonder Girl book, in that we just recently got Wonder Girl number 3. And it feels like it's been forever since we started Wonder Girl. So, there's other titles that are like that. Basically, what's happened is there's a paper shortage, a supply shortage that is not only felt with the comics and delaying comics from coming out, but it is also a problem. Normally, when you see me and I'm showing off the comics, I usually have them in bags and boards. And apparently, there's a shortage in regards to that as well. Everybody is short bags and boards. Well, at least everyone that I am talking to try to purchase said bags and boards. But you know what? Hopefully, it will get settled by the end of next week, and we will be good to go. Anywho, I think there's a lot of things that are going to make more sense once I pick up the Suicide Squad annual. There are other things that were happening that there is, if you've read Suicide Squad number 7, you know what I'm talking about when I mention this, but I don't want to give too much away. There is an arrival right at the end, a little bit of a cliffhanger of a group of people. And I honestly am trying to figure out right now, because I'm kind of new to this, if this is a group of people that have shown up before, or if it is a group of people that are completely new to the situation. Um, because it's written like it could be either way. More likely, it is written like they are not new to the situation. So if you happen to be watching this and you happen to be a long-term reader of Suicide Squad, please comment and let me know maybe just a little bit about those people. I really appreciate it, because my Google searches were not coming up with much there, and it was not helpful. So, um, yeah. Moving on, we're going to talk about, I'm just getting through my notes here. My notes. Do I have notes on this one? Yes, I do. There we go. This is what happens when you don't wear glasses. And the reason I don't wear glasses is because of glare. That's why. So, but anyways, we're going to talk about issue 4 of Crush in Lobo. I really enjoyed Crush in Lobo issue number 4. This is one of your limited series, and so how is it? You have to wonder how it's so hard for people to not notice that the main man Lobo has in fact switched places, tricked his um, Teen Titan, well, former Teen Titan daughter, because well, she quit Teen Titans, to come and take his place. Okay, so he tricked her. She came and took his place, um, because he tricked her. I feel like I didn't say that clearly enough. Let's try this again. Okay, so Lobo tricked his daughter to come see him in space prison. When she got to space prison, he then uh, basically took a biological homing device kind of thing and planted it on her. So because they have similar biological material, it basically made it look like she was Lobo. But there is, like, despite the fact that she does look very similar to him because of their alien race, there's a bit of a difference. One is she's clearly a woman and he is clearly not. So, um, yeah. So this issue is pretty much Crush, his daughter, that's her, dealing with the fact that she is now being has mistaken identity issue involving her father and being in space jail. And it's talking about how it's really funny because like she seems to not be taking any of it very seriously, but she does get put in therapy and she does paint, and she ends up kind of working some things out in her head involving her ex-girlfriend. So it's kind of funny there, and it's kind of funny how she gets the idea of how she's going to make them know who she really is. And there's a whole development involving that. There's a whole plot device and plot movement involving that. And I'm not going to give it away because it does lead us into the next issue, which would be issue number 5 coming next month. I am really enjoying Crush and Lobo. I am really enjoying her humor and her storytelling, because it's kind of like she's not only a character in the story, but she's also telling the story. And I'm really appreciating her sarcastic wit in regards to that. So that's it for Crush and Lobo. But next we're going to be breaking the DC run here with a Dynamite book. Is new this week, The Army of Darkness, 1979. We got our boy Ash right there, guys. Okay. So, oh gosh. What I love about Dynamite books is like that this and like Elvira, the Elvira and Vincent Price book, is that it's light-hearted, campy humor with horror. And this book, we have Ash, who has been thrust back into New York City, 1979, in a Warriors-esque setting. It's very much Warriors-esque. Like you see the baseball Furies, you see all that. Okay. And he's basically thrust through a portal into this situation. 1979, New York City, and he knows this is because of the Necromonicon. Did I say that right? Necro. Okay, so me and Joe had this discussion earlier, and he had me basically saying the word over and over again because I have a really hard time saying the goddamn word. Necromo. Ne- necromo. I don't know if you guys at home heard that, but he just yelled the word out at me. Necromon. Say it again. Necronomicon. 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 Oh my God. Thank you, sweetie. Necronomicon. He knows that it has to do with the Necronomicon, has ended up in the hands of a gang called the Warlocks, whom the leader bears a striking resemblance to He-Man if he never got a vacation and turned sour about it. But I do really love this, and I think it encapsulates the wisecracking portrayal of Ash by Bruce Campbell in comic book form. And I know this isn't the first Ash comic book that has been out there from Dynamite, but this is the first one I've read. So that's what I'm building upon here. So we will be probably adding it to our pull list. By the way, I know that Elvira came out this week. I have not read it yet, but I will, and I will talk about it just at a later date. But yeah, moving on, we are going to talk about the very wonderful Swamp Thing. Um, this was absolutely wonderful. I'm loving this so much. Rom V, who wrote it, is one of my favorite comic writers right now. This title, and he also has Catwoman, are just awesome. Like, I could sit here and be like, oh my god, about like, oh my god, you're so cool. And you would just think that, who is this odd woman and why am I watching this? But then I could tell you that the true beauty and art of this written word can be found in every utterance, in every remembrance displayed here of a son carrying the pain of regret and the responsibility he has to that and to the memory of his family to do the right thing this time around as Swamp Thing, as this titan and this keeper of the green Swamp Thing. So what happened? Okay, so the Suicide Squad, like in the last issue, is still there, looking to capture him and bring him back to that hard-ass Waller. Okay, if you've been watching me at all, you know I have no love lost for Amanda Waller. So let's put it in a pocket and we'll come back to it later. Okay, so but even though he's hurt, he uses that emotional pain to power through. Check this shit out. Seriously, if you're not reading it, check it out now or save some cash and wait for the inevitable trade collection. And maybe we can all start lighting a candle that the DC overlords will see fit to give Swamp Thing its own more long-term series. Give it a go. Come on, guys. Do it. Do it. Swamp Thing is wonderful. And if you can get Rom V to keep writing it, I think you got something here, guys. Seriously. So, amazingly enough, Batman. We're going to be talking about Batman next. Batman is not my number one title. Not to say that it wasn't great. So we have, last week we had Fear State Alpha. This week we have the beginning officially of Fear State. If you've been reading, you know, there's been some shit going down and it's been ramping up and ramping up and ramping up. In the last issue, we had Fear State Alpha. I'll say Fear State Alpha because it wasn't officially a Batman title. It was Fear State Alpha, but Batman, but Fear State Alpha. So Simon Saint has lost his Peacekeeper 1 and his lunch. Okay? Literally. If you read Batman 112, Simon Saint loses his lunch. It's beautiful. Anyway, but no bother. He's got a plan. A plan that subsequently Batman has already kind of guessed at. Because he's Batman. Okay? Batman has, in fact, resurfaced and has put the rumors of his untimely demise to bed, at least with part of his crew. That part of his crew being Barbara, Cassandra, and Stephanie. So basically, Oracle, one of the Batgirls, and Spoiler. Not spoilers like on spoilers, but the name Spoiler, that's Stephanie Brown's alias. And he is trying to figure out what to do next. Barbara is filling him in on what he's missed, and he gets Ghostmaker on the horn and gets filled in on what Harley and the Gardener's plan is. And it just might work. And Harley, she wants to be Robin? Okay. I think that there's like this, running joke / actual serious request. Harley wants to be a Robin. And she mentions it here in this book. She's just like, this plan is going to work. And then you're going to give me a Robin costume because I'm that awesome. And you know what? Harley is that awesome. Make her a Robin. Why not? Why not? It's happened in other books that I don't think are canon. It's happened. She's run around with Batman before, and she's been running around with Batman. Why not? Why not? Okay. Anyways, she either wants to be Robin or she just wants the cute outfit. Who knows? Peacekeeper is off the rails. This is due to the Scarecrow and what he did to him. And Scarecrow finally sitting on the side of a building is like, okay, it's time to begin. What, you haven't begun yet? Come on, dude. You've been doing all this shit and now you're beginning? So either Scarecrow's just really weird and has really weird taste for appetizers, and a weird appetite for destruction, or this shit's about to go down. So, as Darkwing Duck says, let's get dangerous. And I can't wait. We're going to get more Fierce State Tide titles next week. Obviously, we get I Am Batman, which is I believe we're getting I Am Batman next week. I believe so. That's going to be a title that's going to be tied to Fierce State, which is Jace Fox, which, if you recall, Jace Fox has found the extra bat suit, the mechanical bat suit, and he's probably getting ready to do some shit too. So, yeah. Anywho, so the next title I'm going to be talking about, and the last one I'm going to talk about in real detail here, I think, in this issue. I mean, I'm going to talk about my top issues just a little bit, and I'm going to get more in depth with them in Spotlight reviews, Spotlight videos individually. But I had heard about this comic from another comic reviewers. This is Behemoth comic. Okay, so I heard about it from comic reviewers. Comics Will Break Your Heart, Jen and Mars talked about Cinnamon. Cinnamon being right here. I usually watch those ladies regularly, and I very much enjoy their shows. And when they brought up Cinnamon 1, this is Cinnamon 2, I was sold. But here's the deal. This being kind of an indie publisher, they really don't have very high print rates. So if you're discovering one of these kind of like now, chances are when you try to look at your local LCS, or even if you go outside your local locality like I tried to do, I contacted my brother who shops in Peoria. I looked it up for closer to my area in DeKalb. Could not find a copy of Cinnamon 1. So I did have to read that digitally, but it was okay. All right. So we read that digitally and we loved it. So I was super excited that I had already put the actual official order in with my LCS. Thank you, Neil, at Clyde's Comics, Broadway in Rockford. um, I put the order in for 2 and 3, actually, sight unseen of number 1, based on what I heard involving Cinnamon number 1. Now, Cinnamon is, this is actually just 3 issues, and let me tell you, I could probably just read an ongoing series about Cinnamon. I think that if you're a cat owner, you're a cat lover, you should check out Cinnamon by Victoria Douglas. And this is the second issue. I'm going to talk about it now. So, let me tell you, I don't know if this is across this indie publisher, but this has got some bulk to it. Like, not bulk like in like, but like, it's got really, not necessarily bulk, but it's got really good quality. Good quality book here, okay? So besides that, in this issue, okay, so to give you a little bit of information about Cinnamon, Cinnamon is a cat. Cinnamon is about 6 months old, and she lives with her human, and Cinnamon has her reality and then her fantasy world, where Cinnamon is a leather jacket wearing, motorcycle riding bounty hunter. So in the first issue, you're introduced to Cinnamon and her fantasy bounty hunter personality, and so and in that issue, she is looking. She's trying to infiltrate the cabinets in the kitchen to get a hold of the container of catnip and everything that happens with that. In this one, Cinnamon and her owner play with the dreaded laser pointer, and it's adorable. And it's like, this is what it looks like when you're actually playing with the laser pointer with your cat, and then this is what they might be imagining. And what's really funny is, like, in my own world, if we play with the laser pointer, we have 2 cats. We have our youngest, which is River. You've heard me talking about them both before, River, and then we have our eldest, which is Kaylee. Kaylee has figured out that we make the laser pointer go. So she is not as excited about the laser pointer because she's seen behind the curtain, so to speak. But River still gets excited about the laser pointer. So we definitely have experienced the fun that comes with the cats and the laser pointer. So yeah, it's really, I think it's, Joe made the comment earlier today that he thinks it is a must for cat owners, and I agree. Cat lovers, cat owners, read Cinnamon. If you can't get it in actual book form, get it digitally. And actually what's really cool is this company, Behemoth, they actually do have a reduced rate for their digital copies, as opposed to a lot of other comic book, like the big 2, cost the same digitally or, in your hand. So you're actually, saving some money if you get it digitally. So that's cool too. So, okay, so guys, I'm going to kind of briefly talk about my spotlight issues, and then, like I said, I'm going to have spotlight videos for each of them to give you more information. We're going to really just take the plastic off of them. We're going to talk about them. We're going to use spoilers. We're going to really get into these. And the thing is I picked both of these issues because after I was done reading them, it was really like I had to sit there earlier and be like, okay, you need to stop what you're doing. I look at Joe, I'm like, stop what you're doing, book club right now. We have to talk about these. And that's what really got me involving both of these. And to be completely honest with you, with both of them, it's really hard to talk about these without giving spoilers because they're so exciting. But the first one is Infinite Frontier 6 out of 6. The limited series Infinite Frontier. Holy Jesus gosh. Okay, so this one, there's so much happening. It is really hard, like I said, to be spoiler light. So yes, I am doing the spoiler-tastic comic spotlight on this one because it's beautiful, it's complex, and I so much happens in it. So much. So stay tuned and maybe review or read Crisis on Infinite Earths and then watch my video on Infinite Frontier number 6. The other one that I'm going to be doing in a comic spotlight would be Suicide Squad Get Joker. If you recall, this was one. This is number 2. If you recall, number 1 was one of my major spoiler-tastic. No, because I wasn't doing the spoiler-tastic video yet. Okay, so this was one of my comics of the week when it came out, and it's really great. It's one of my favorite books right now, to be completely honest with you, and it's hard. Like the other one, it's hard to talk about it without giving major spoilers. Seriously, major stuff happening in this book. It is a Black Label book, so it's not for the kiddies. And it's not continuity, but it's still really good. And that's one of the things that I kind of love about some of the Black Label books. Some of the Black Label books do get to be continuity, but a lot of them are kind of outside of continuity. So Black Label books, we got Superman and Lobo going on right now. You've got Batman Reptilian. You've got, Batman, Curse of the White Knight, Batman White Knight, Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn. Those were all Black Label books. Harleen was a Black Label book. So a lot of these are like really great and awesome. And this is one of them. So even though it's outside of continuity, it's still really great. And it involves one of my favorite characters and my comic boyfriend, Jason Todd. So, you guys come back and watch that video. Watch me talk about what happens next in this book, because really it's hard to talk about and not get spoilery. Um, so come back when it's time. Come back when you're ready, and we will talk about both Infinite Frontier number 6 and Suicide Squad Get Joker 2. So this has been the officially unofficial Geek Channel Weekly Comic Roundup. I am your host as always, Carrie Quinn. Please keep reading, keep being safe, keep getting healthy, being healthy, mask up if you need to, and vaccinate. Please vaccinate. Just do it. Just do it. You know what? Here's the thing. Here, I'm going to put this out there for y'all, okay? If you're worried about what your friends are going to think of you if you vaccinate, fuck them, okay? But anyways, if you're worried about what your friends are going to think if you're vaccinated, just do it. Don't tell them. Huh? Huh? Yeah. See, I got you there. If you're worried about what your little conservative buddies are going to think of you getting vaccinated, just do it. Don't tell them. And then you're safe, and they still have that fuzzy little feeling in their head about you. But, anyways, please be sure to keep yourself safe, vaccinate, wear a mask if you need to, and be kind to each other. And make sure to visit your local LCS, chat with your local LCS, read your books, read comic books, explore fantasy, and just be good, just be nice. All right, so like I said, this is the officially unofficial Geek Channel Weekly Comic Roundup. My name is Carrie Quinn, and like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. Please comment if you know who the group at the end of Suicide Squad was, and I'll be seeing you. Bye.